No doubt. Doubt should be eliminated. You should be a doubt annihilator. You should be an annihilator of doubt.
The first rule, which is kind of a comical rule, is stand up straight with your shoulders back. And it's a meditation, among other things, on the habits of lobsters. The lobster runs on serotonin, neurochemical. And if the lobster loses, the serotonin levels go down, and if he wins, the serotonin levels go up. And when the serotonin levels go up, he stretches out, and he's a confident lobster. And one of the consequences of that is if a lobster loses a battle, and you give him the equivalent of antidepressants, then he stretches out and he'll go fight again. So antidepressants work on lobsters. Huh. Right. And you think, well, who cares? It's like, no, you don't get it. We diverged from lobsters from an evolutionary perspective 350 million years ago, and it's the same circuit. It's absolutely unbelievable. And that shows you how deep inside you, how basic, how primordial that circuit is in you, that's sizing other people up and looking at where they fit in the hierarchy. Well, with human society, it's more like hierarchies of competence than dominance per se. And like if your serotonin levels fall, you get depressed, you crunch forward, and everything around you turns cloudy and black, and then you're inviting more oppression, right? And so you get into this bad loop. And so it's really important if you're trying to get your act together, it's really important to stretch yourself out and sit up properly, because it's part of the psychophysiological loop that can start you on the upward curve.
What about not being discouraged? Yeah. Listen, I've been knocked up, beat up as a kid, a younger fighter and stuff. People say, I just knew never to get discouraged. I just knew I would get my day if I continue to try hard and believe in myself. If I lost, I didn't have to act like I didn't. If I fight him again, I fight him like I knocked him out the first time. It's all about what you believe.
Anything you let win, the internal argument, grows. And anything you let be defeated shrinks, because it's punished. It doesn't get to have its way. So that's another thing really to remember. Don't practice what you do not want to become.
Feeling that you have as a soldier or as a military person, the feeling that you have going on an offensive operation, where let's say you're a bad guy and I'm going to come and get you at night. Well, first of all, you don't know, and I'm sneaking up on you, and I have all this power, right? I feel good about it. I'm going to get you. The opposite of that is when I'm doing a convoy or I'm going on a patrol, where now the bad guys are out there, they're waiting to attack me, and that is a defensive posture, and your attitude about that type of thing is bad. Now, we would train our guys that we made a specific point with my guys. I would say, look, when you're on patrol, we're on offense. We are scanning. We are looking to get us to be standing up straight and to get the mentality of we want to do this and we're moving towards the target, as opposed to we're being chased.
Like Cus would always say, there's a difference between the coward and the hero. They both feel the same. They're both scared and nervous. It's just one lets his feelings get the better and devour him, like the coward, and then he runs and hides. When the hero feels the same way, but he fights the feelings off, and he goes on to accomplish being a hero.
Could you tell us more about this stress is enhancing mindset? I think it's a really interesting one, especially when it's woven in with the growth mindset.
Yeah. So let me tell you kind of that on its own, and then the story of how we had this insight is actually kind of interesting too. But just the basic idea, as people who've heard about Ali Crum would know, and Jeremy Jameson, is that an experience of your heart racing, your palms sweating, anxiety in your stomach, that is itself a new stressor that then needs to be interpreted and appraised by the person experiencing it. That idea on its own is kind of revolutionary for people. People tend to think that your physiological arousal is this objective experience that is universally bad. Ali Crum calls that a stress is debilitating belief. And I think that's a good label for it. It's this idea that heart racing, palms sweaty, butterflies in your stomach is a sign of your impending failure and doom, and it will always interfere with your performance. And the implication, therefore, is if you were about to do well on whatever you're going to do, then you wouldn't feel that way, right? Ali Crum calls this being stressed about being stressed. And that, I think it's a really common experience right now where people are like, wow, if I was a confident, good person who was about to do well, I wouldn't be sitting here feeling so stressed about how stressed I am. And it becomes this metacognitive layered loop of just being stuck in your own mind and interpreting your arousal in the most negative possible light.
If you fake bravery when you're terrified, that is bravery.
And when you think about me, I'm a nothing guy. I'm really nothing. I'm nothing. I'm not an educated guy, but I got belief in myself, and belief is more powerful than anything. Confidence applied properly would supersede a genius.
The Dorobo were totally cool. The three guys psyched themselves up and boldly walked into the lions while they were feeding on the wildebeest. It's basically a huge bluff. They take a gamble that the lions will be startled and frightened off, just long enough for them to cut a huge amount of fresh meat from the kill. The bluff worked. We were all so pleased we had captured and recorded this story for posterity. And the Dorobo were proud we'd been able to film something that is such an important tradition in their lives.
Kill doubt in your mind and in your soul and your heart. Kill it. It's dead.